No, it was there on purpose.
Yeah.
Okay, you two.
I really love that book.
Here, and you can sit next to me. Okay.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
So,
I don't know if you remember me, June, but it's good to see you.
Kelly McCall.
And Emily's mom.
Oh,
I don't know if you remember.
they're doing well.
Yeah, they were.
Yep, yep.
I my husband checked on his birthday was the 17th of September, and so they came over to surprise him.
Mhm.
Birthday.
Well, but he was sick that day, so they were here and he was sick.
Right, and he.
I know,
he was
and
at
he's got COVID too.
No, he's tested
Okay.
negative every time he's tested.
Yeah, okay,
He
but
just
Catherine's
bronchitis.
is apparently.
Yeah, she tested.
Cycle goes backings.
Kathy has all their shiny.
Yeah, she tested positive for COVID.
Oh, no, yeah, no. Because, yeah, I feel bad because I saw her even when I had the cough, but I wore the mask when I went to see her, got the postcards, you know.
Yeah.
I'm sliding away.
Golly, how's Chuck?
Well, he's improving slow but sure. He thought he had turned the corner yesterday and he slept really well last night. And he was planning on calling this morning and then his cough started again.
Oh, yeah, that's, see, mine's been really off and on, really off and on. But see, I thought it was like, oh.
I got a few more days.
My blood pressure, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
Anyway, I haven't got my new COVID bags yet, so.
Yeah, he was hoping to get that already and now he's gonna have to wait a while.
Yeah, right, yeah. So, I mean, yes, and I don't know, I always go to Coke Pharmacy, it's easier for me to do that. I don't know if they have it yet. I got the flu shot last week and they said it was 1 or 2 weeks before they got it.
And we do the flu shot, you know, like a flu shot at school and they don't have it. At
Too bad because they say that
Yeah.
it wears out and then flu season in January, so, yeah. I'm like, oh,
That's too bad. I got mine really early.
did you get your flu shot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have to get it again.
Well, that's because they did it at work.
Yeah.
That's what you hear from us.
Where are you working?
Carolina, in the Midtown
Oh,
Wilmington company.
I look forward to it.
You had gone to St. Paul College for.
I too.
Oh, because I teach there. Early childhood education.
Hey, yeah, I was in like doing a medical records thing, so I did, yeah.
And then, of course, she gets out and there are no jobs.
Oh,
Yeah.
Shirley Dale and what are the names of the teachers? For medical records, remember?
Years ago, right?
Yeah, no, I don't.
I'm trying to, I can see them because we share office space, but we hardly ever interact.
Oh, yeah.
They're busy doing their stuff, and I think they're doing my stuff.
Uh-oh, front row. I'll go sit in the front row if you want to do the back
There's
row.
plenty of.
No. But you know how people,
There you go.
I'm gonna move it up. I'm moving up. So look at that, okay. This is my
Right.
seat, but okay.
Except the
I
very
didn't
much.
sit in it last
Yeah.
year because I was talking to
That's what I understood.
I just got lots of stuff here.
Person in front of me, I think.
Oh, well, that's the solution to the problem. And your name is Jake. Jake, hi, I'm Alice.
Hi.
I suppose we can put this elsewhere.
You're in shape? Pretty much, I came out.
Could always see my back. See? You're in, I'm in the way. There you are.
Oh, that's pretty. Yeah, as long as it's an easy shot.
Oh, is that?
I'm surprised you're early. You're so good at something exactly at the exact right time.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty straight.
Well, this time I thought I was gonna have time for one errand and then I realized I wasn't going to.
I can't do errands before I need to be somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Because I cannot gauge the amount of time that's going to take. Like, it happened to me Friday. Oh, if I had 10 extra minutes to go there.
Yeah, it's
Oh, yeah.
But it was in my neighborhood, so it was a big deal.
Yeah,
Anyway,
Bill,
I just can't do that.
yeah,
But you're so good at timing like that.
yeah.
You believe Google's map when they say 33 minutes?
Yeah, pretty much.
Ghost check, I think.
Yep.
It's a bit weird.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
Take your time, Kim.
Oh, Kathy's actually co-hosting, so.
I see.
Oh, she.
Yeah, that's her.
Avatar.
I'm glad that they have some insurance.
Well, I'm ready to be radical today.
Okay. Really?
Oh, my God. Well, that's, you're supposed to be about radical.
Oh, I see.
In fact, I was surprised, I didn't see anything to up.
Right.
You know, normally I would see something on Saturday or Friday about today's service. It was last week. They just sent out.
No, he said that, mail should have like on Wednesday this week.
And I wasn't in my spam either.
He said he did. I didn't actually look for it. Check it out, but he said he did.
Yeah, I'll just be kind of a bit started.
Yeah. Morning. Welcome.
I can get it. Yeah, September 27th, he sent it out.
Really? Interesting.
I have better luck this time.
No, I'm actually good for now. And I assumed that because there'd be coffee available, if I absolutely fell
Yes,
apart.
well, right.
Yeah.
It's really noisy. The good thing here, I get really loud.
Mhm.
And it started it way ahead of time. Last week, it turned out.
Yeah.
Oh, is that Amy from Chicago? Hard to tell. She always has great pictures. Yeah.
There she is.
Like I can see. You got one.
Okay.
Oh, I think you stuck it in the thing that wasn't on.
There it is.
You need. It's a generic.
Well, the insert is.
Yeah.
Oh, Wheelchair.
There you go. There. They're in here. Okay, they aren't being forced to fit in the front row.
I'm sorry?
All the new people. See, you don't mind the front row, do you?
Stay in the back row if they're new.
It's one of my colleagues said that the people who sit in the front row generally get the best grades. So I said, well, I'm gonna sit in the front row. Oh, there you go. I know, but it's a habit, it's a habit, see, but you like this, is it Gary?
Tony.
Tony, hi. We got a bitch. Oh, we got it. You have some more. Okay. Of course, yeah. Good morning.
So we'll do
Yeah.
We'll see.
Join me in our opening song. It's number 188 for the new folks. And we'll sing it twice through. Ours is no care and no despair. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Let's do it one more time.
I'm sorry, my pedal is.
Oh, okay, well, she has technical difficulties, so we'll just go ahead and move forward. We'll do it again some other time. Welcome to Dakota Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Bryan, and we're so glad that all of you are here with us today. All are truly welcome here at Dakota UU, and we hope that you find our time together meaningful, insightful, and fulfilling. Our mission is to be a space of sanctity where creativity and intellect blend with spirit, and individuality is nurtured in community. We encourage you to interact with each other, especially during the congregational reflection, and of course my favorite part, after service when we have all the treats. Although we are going to have treats during the service today, but surprises still loom. You are a part of this community, even for this few moments together, and we invite you to participate as you feel comfortable to do so. All right, so that's the script. Now, I have a couple of ad hoc announcements. The first thing is, this is Rally Sunday or Welcome Sunday, and that means that we have designed this particular time to be particularly welcoming for new folks. So I'll be doing a little teaching along the way about our traditions and things like that so that we all feel as comfortable as possible. And also, to that end, we're going to be doing something a little bit unorthodox I was going to say unorthodox for Unitarian Universalism, but isn't that kind of an oxymoron? I don't know. All right, so we're going to do something fun, and that's during the service. We're going to, because this is also Worldwide Communion Sunday, and even though Unitarian Universalists don't have a sacrament of communion specifically, we're going to come together and we're going to eat and drink as a unified body. Although in that there is diversity, so you'll have a choice between good old-fashioned water, it's bottled water, clean, not tap, and or apple juice, organic, of course. And then there is a tray of crackers. My favorite are the rainbow goldfish. And there's a little sign on each one of them that says what they may not have in them, like gluten-free, grain-free, sugar-free. And if you're really adventurous, I already know that this is what's going to go mostly. In the back, there's a box full of apple pumpkin muffins that are vegan. So I invite you, when we come up forward, there's a little napkin up here, little apples for the season, you know. Put your treat on that and then return to your seat with also one of the two options to drink. If you aren't able to come up, we will come to you. Kelly's going to be our service assistant today. She also happens to be the president of the congregation. And so we'll work and make sure we get to you. Just make sure that you just give me an eye and I'll bring some stuff to you, whatever you'd like. However, you do not have to participate. If you're not interested in taking anything, you're still here, part of us, and you don't have to eat or drink, but you're still in spirit with us. All right, does anybody else have an announcement that you'd like to share? Okay, well, one little reminder that I'll make is that we don't really take an offering, but we do actually take up change for a program called Change for Change, which is an organization that helps people, and I'll talk a little bit more about it a little bit later, that works in the community. And so during that time of when we're actually taking, what's wrong?
It's Kiva, not Change for Change.
Oh, Change for Change. Oh, well, Chuck told me to put Change for Change in the
That's
script.
our word.
That's what we call
Oh, that's our,
it.
oh, so it's for Kiva.
Right.
Well, during that communion time, we will also be taking up for Kiva,
Yes.
which we call Change for Change. But there's an official organization called Change for Change, so that's not the one we're doing. We just call it that. But if you do have a donation, please look at our website. You can give a donation there, and there's also going to be a plate in the back. All right, any last words before we get started with our service? Okay, I invite you to remain seated and join us together in our opening words. It's number 446 in the hymnal, but I invite you to look at the screen because in the hymnal it is not necessarily responsively.
Bryan, you want me to play the prelude first?
Oh, you got your technical issues fixed? Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought we were down for the count.
No.
All right, before we do the words, we've got the technical issues fixed on the music, so.
to the wrong thing,
Oh.
that's all.
And now, please join me in our opening words, which appear on number 446 in the hymnal, but we're going to do them responsively. Spirit of the East, spirit of air, of morning and springtime,
Be with us as the sun rises in times of beginning, times of planting. Inspire us with the fresh breath of courage as we go forth into new ventures.
Spirit of the South, spirit of fire, of noontime and summer,
Be with us through the heat of the day and help us to be ever growing. Warm us with strength and energy for the work that awaits us.
Spirit of the West, spirit of water, of evening and autumn,
Be with us as the sun sets and help us to enjoy our winter harvest. Flow through us with a cooling, healing quietness and bring us peace.
Spirit of the North, spirit of earth, of nighttime and winter,
Be with us in the darkness, in the time of gestation. Ground us in the wisdom of the changing seasons as we celebrate the spiraling journey of our lives.
we gather together as a community of seekers to honor the interdependence of life, to respect the dignity of all, and to honor the land we walk humbly upon. Friends, let us acknowledge that we now stand and sit upon the traditional territories of the indigenous people, the Dakota, for whom this very county is named, and others, the members of the original nations of this land who continue to cry out for justice, preservation, and self-determination. We are blessed with a space, a community, and opportunities to strive to live out our common principles, to bring justice, equity, and compassion into our daily lives, to resist all that threatens the earth and her people, and to live out our dream of a world community of peace, liberty, and justice for all. Let these thoughts carry us forth as we journey and worship together. And now together we say, may the
Light we now kindle, inspire us to use our powers, to heal with love, to help with compassion, to bless with joy,
to serve you, Spirit of freedom, in the fullness of community. And now I invite you, only as you are able, to rise and sing with us our opening hymn, which is number 407. Gonna sit at the welcome table. Okay, here comes one of those teaching parts for our visitors and guests. One of our traditions in this congregation that I love so much is that we share a time of joys and concerns. Now, certainly you are not required to do any kind of sharing, but typically what we do for those who are interested and feel moved to do so is we invite you to come up and light a candle from the chalice and place it into the round wooden box. That's kind of a weird thing. A round wooden vessel in the sand, and you can either share with us your joy or concern verbally or simply light a candle. And at the end, for those of you that don't come up, and for those on Zoom and others, we will light a final candle together for the ones that have not been spoken.
I have a joy, I'm going to stand over here. I have a joy, and that is I completed my program of certification for sound healing. Got it all done. Yay. But I just want to give, I guess, honor the woman who just died, the Senator Dianne Feinstein, and she really, what a legacy she left. So.
Yep.
Kind of a whole litany of things to kind of talk about quickly here. First, my father's birthday was yesterday. He would have been 91, so it's been a couple years since he passed. Two, the person there in the avatar, that's my wife. She is at home with the COVID, trying to recover. So it's been a long week and a half already, and hopefully she'll recover pretty soon. Yes, three. When I came in today, I forgot the laptop, so doing all the computer stuff would have been a little difficult. So I had to run home and grab that and come back.
Thank you, John.
But out of that kind of misfortune, what was interesting was that I saw people out running with their bibs, and apparently today's the Twin Cities is running. Marathon was canceled. I hadn't heard that yet. Thank you, Kitty, for telling me that. But normally on this weekend, that's where I'd be running. But unfortunately, I've got some hip issues and haven't been able to run since April. So working through that. So.
Candles are right here. Let's grab a candle.
I guess, I don't know if this is like a concern or maybe just like I don't know. I had a coworker who recently committed suicide. So I guess I'm just sort of asking for prayers for the family.
Yeah, that's hard.
So, thank you.
Kathy, we see you.
But can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yay! Cool. I have a joy for my husband who, as of Thursday, is officially retired.
For those of you who don't know, that's her husband Jim that's running the sound.
Congratulations.
Only until they call me back again.
Well, I started to say now that you're retired, you can do more work for the church, right? Isn't that the pastor's duty to say, right?
I don't know if this is a joy or a concern. My mother is coming into town. Yeah, she's very queer-phobic and very nice at the same time, so it's very conflicting. So just, yeah, it's your heart.
So I'm not sure if this is a joy or concern. This is kind of more just kind of this. September just ended. It kind of more of a well-wishing that as the academic year starts to get into full swing. I work with students for a living, and I know that the school year is just hoping that everyone well wishes that everyone has a good school year, and if something comes up, that everyone feels confident to be able to speak up and say, hey, something's going on, or hey, I don't get this, or I need my needs met somehow. I know that this can be a very trying time for a lot of people who may not have the most positive experience at school for various reasons. So this is kind of more of a, I guess, well-wishing, keeping these people in our thoughts and supporting them.
Do you mind me asking what age group you work with?
I primarily work with middle and high school.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I had a joy this last week. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi. And during this last week, I had a wonderful, joyful time with my sister Amy, who is right up here in the blue sweater, and my sister Joanne.
Maui.
And Joanne lives in Maui. She made it to Minnesota. Amy lives in Chicago. That's quite a trip too, to Minnesota. Anyway, just want to say it was a wonderful visit with my sisters. I hadn't seen my sister Joanne for many, many years, and that was marvelous. Anyway, also continuing the Hawaiian theme, Amy purchased this dress for me on her trip to Hawaii recently, and I never got to show it to her during this visit because it was too cool. I didn't wear it. It wasn't warm enough. I have that, and also I'm just eating some cookies from Honolulu. Delicious. It's supposed to be the best cookies in Hawaii. Anyway, thanks a lot, everybody, for listening, and love you all. Bye.
Oh, and her sister missed the fire in Maui by about 5 miles.
Oh, right.
So she was very lucky.
Mm.
Bye, everybody.
Well, at the risk of sounding like a broken record, I'm going to light another candle for Chuck and get well soon, honey. This is the 3rd week now. He's still got that cough, so it's not COVID.
Like so many things today and so many things in life, I have something that is a joy and a concern. Can't even light the candle. I got to see my great nephew, not the little one that I've been showing you pictures of, but my niece, Amy, who lives in Washington, suddenly called and said, can you pick us up at the airport? And her son, the last time I saw him, they were here, and he was like 5. And I saw some potential problems then, but we really bonded, and I loved him. And now he is back, and he's 15. And again, I just adore him, and he's already in trouble with the police. So, you know, I saw it coming, but what do you do, you know, from across the country? But I looked him in the eye and gave him that mom talk and told him I loved him, and he better straighten up, so we'll see. Oh, yes, he got to feed my fish, and that was the joy of the weekend. Those of you who know, he lit up like the little boy that I remember.
The fish are in the lake, they're not in a jar.
Yeah.
They jump out to take the food out of your hand, and he just.
Yeah.
This is a joy. Thanks to Sue and Steve for sharing the bounty of their garden. We went over and they asked us to get tomatoes out of their garden. And so that was just such a gift. I can't grow tomatoes. And Steve was an agronomist. So
Right.
Thank you, Sue and Steve.
I'm new. And this is a joy, and I'm very anxious, and that's part of the joy is that I have super bad anxiety. So I'm really glad that I'm here. I made it. And the other joy is that yesterday I was blessed at a car clinic with over $1,000 worth of repairs on my car, and as a single mom, I would have never been able to get those repairs done. So those are my joys. Do you have any joy, Stella? Would you like to share a joy?
No.
I had such a good week at school. And you got your busy tickets.
I want you to say.
Okay, well, Stella would like to share that she had a really good week at school and got ABC tickets, which are like special tickets that you get at school for being caught doing something good and helping friends. So,
I have one more thing to say, if that's okay.
Sure.
I forgot to mention that Amy's husband, Tony, is here too with us. And I think, Tony, you've been trying the Evanston UU Church is what I think I've heard from Amy, which is pretty marvelous. Anyway, Tony's here too.
I will light a final candle, as I had said before, for all the joys and concerns that remain unspoken. May we know that whatever befalls us in life, we are held in the living embrace of this community, and now we say together for those with unspoken joys and concerns.
We hold you in our hearts.
And now I invite you to listen as I read our reflective reading for today. It's by Karen Johnston, The Embodiment of Abundant Love. In our lived lives, family comes in different shapes and sizes and constellations. It is in this variety, this diversity, that our lives are made fuller and our individual selves made more whole. It is in this variety, it is in this diversity, that we look back to the ancestors, recognizing no monolith, but instead a rich texture that informs the foundation beneath us. It is in this variety, it is in this diversity, that we perceive forward to the future, choosing to be good ancestors ourselves rather than dutiful descendants. If we live our lives in recognition of this truth, there is no reason to act as if this is not true in death. Let us live into the truth so many of us lean on in times of loss, that love lives on even in death. As this is the truth of this family in life, so is it true for this family in mourning, giving free rein to all who willingly offer themselves as voice and embodiment of abundant love. So may it be true for all. Let us love one another with reckless abandon, no matter who we all are or where we all come from. Blessed be. Now I know as you look at, if anybody saw the sermon or presentation title today, this wasn't anything really intriguing because it says, look around, isn't this awesome? But look around, isn't this awesome? So there, I took it on faith that we would have a few extra people here today. And so, presentation title worked out. And that's the end of the sermon. I'm just joking. When I was in high school, one of my great passions that I think this is a story I haven't told yet. Right? Hopefully. We'll see.
We'll see.
When I was in high school, I was so passionate about being in band and orchestra. I didn't really have the best voice, so I kind of sung with choir every once in a while. And poor Kelly sits up here and listens to me sing, so I'll try my best. But I love being an instrumentalist. And so I would always be, really excited when we were getting ready for a concert or some other event. And one of my, I guess, and I'm glad my band teacher isn't around to hear this, my favorite was orchestra. And the reason was because I was a French horn player. And French horns are one of the few wind instruments that actually make it into the orchestra. And of course, they get to take the lead a lot. Whereas in band, the French horns are just kind of like, well, oh, that group over there. And I guess one of the things that always inspired me about being in orchestra was my orchestra teacher, who said from the very beginning, I'll always remember what she taught us. Sports are great, but in orchestra, nobody gets to sit out. And I'm not belittling sports by any stretch of the imagination, but that stuck with me. Nobody gets to sit out. I mean, the same is true in band, but again, orchestra was my thing. And what was interesting about it is moving forward when I got into college music programs, I remember my music theory teacher asking the question, what song is your theme song of life? And everybody, went around and was talking about pop music or, the latest trends in music. And she gets to me and I was like, well, I'm a little different. That's a surprise. And I would say my theme song is Santorini performed by Yanni live at the Acropolis. Now, when I was young, New Age music was new, but it was also, growing up in a conservative religious tradition, not looked upon very highly. And so I was prepared to defend my answer, and all she said, because I was in college, not in high school anymore, was, could you just say more about that? I think it partly inspired me to be a teacher at that point. Could you say more about that? Well, of course I could say more about that. You see, not only can you not sit out in an orchestra, any kind of musical ensemble like that, but this particular movement, if anybody knows about Yanni, you know this, but If not, go on YouTube, Live at the Acropolis. It has to be the performance from Live at the Acropolis, because that goes with my story. It was the fusion of ancient with the very new, because that was back when Yanni was really new. And so we have this ancient set of ruins in Greece. And there are thousands of people that they had to even rebuild the stands for them to sit in. And then you have this really wonderfully new type of music that just hit me in ways that, while I love classical music, orchestra, right? It just is a little different, this new age stuff, I thought, as a young person. Now, of course, that is a whole genre of music that's split into all different areas now and all that. But Yanni remains one of my favorites of all time as a composer and performer. I also thought it was really cool that he had a conductor of his orchestra, but then he's there playing the piano and being a part of it. It's something else. That's another presentation for another day, whenever you're a leader, but you're just part of a group instead of standing up and pushing people to do what they need to do. So the fusion of old and new is so extremely important, and it was the first time I grew up in an area that was not so diverse. It's the first time I watched an entire orchestra filled with people from all over the world, with all different skin colors, all different tattoos. I mean, that was back when tattoos were not that cool. At least in my community. And there were women playing in the orchestra, first chair. Like, there were no first chair women players in my high school, or female players in my high school. And it was just a whole different experience. That, and there was a unity despite all of the wonderful diversity of old and new, and among all these different people from all over the world. And you can feel it. I didn't want to take up too much time and show a YouTube video in here, although Jim probably would have liked that because he likes YouTube. But if you get a chance to watch it and listen to it and experience it, there's this feeling. Now, fast forward to another story. One of my favorite movie series of all time is Avatar. And in Avatar, there is a theme of unity and diversity as well, because not only is this particular theme, especially I'm talking about the first movie, about not just these Aboriginal people that living on the planet coming together of all tribes, but all of the animals and the plants, the trees, come together in a type of unity to overcome adversity in their diversity. I love the image of Awa, who is the pantheistic deity of the people and the creatures and the plants. The unity in their diversity was illustrated so beautifully at a point in that movie where there is this immense predator that approaches one of the Aboriginals and bows, and then she gets on top of this predator and goes and does battle. These life forms working together in a type of unity that's unprecedented is the kind of unity that I believe in religious community, where we all disagree. If I start and have a conversation about, what you believe, or let's reflect about communion, let's not do that. But maybe another time. We would all have different kinds of viewpoints. But look around. Isn't this awesome? Here we are as one community gathered together. And guess what? With these kinds of stories that I bring to you, I'm inspired, because there is immense adversity at work in the world today. And it is the people and the love of all of us that can unify and overcome that adversity. I know that we are often overwhelmed at the amount of adversity. I'm not sure how many of you were on the edge of your chairs watching to see if the government was going to shut down today. But that's only one of the concerns. And existentially, I get so frustrated because it's like when I was a kid, I was told by somebody who visited my classroom, this is when I was in elementary school, that the largest visible object at that time from outer space was the landfill in New Jersey. And I was overwhelmed with existential grief, like, what are we gonna do with all the trash? Where does the trash go? All the other kids were like, well, it just magically gets picked up at the end of the driveway. But I was like, where does it go? So at the risk of not trying to give you existential grief more than you already have, the inspirational message of unity and diversity is that we can come together despite all of our differences, despite wherever we come from, and we can embrace a type of love that can change the world. That's why we're here, right? Yes, I know we're here because we are in fellowship and community and we love each other and we have fun and lots of good treats. Love those. But we are also here with another purpose, and that is to come together to collect money for people who are not able to get the resources that they need, to advocate for affordable housing by assembling at times in places where we need to do that, to march in Black Lives Matter demonstrations when it's called for, to get out and make sure that we protest whenever they try to take women's rights away and the rights to actually take care of their own bodies. That's love in action. And we all come from different places. We all have different kinds of things, but we can work together to truly embrace the type of love that is reflected not only in the principles of the Unitarian Universalist Church, but in this very faith community. That's why I'm here. And I'm proud to say that we are changing the world just by coming together and doing the things that we're doing. And so as we embrace our visitors and guests today who we invite to come back and be a part of this community, we also challenge ourselves as a congregation as we move continually forward to revision who we are in the world, who we are together, who we can be, and how we can actually go forth and embrace a type of love that can bring immense change that is beyond any imagination. May it be so. Now, I did give you a warning about this little feast. So what I want to do is, as the music plays, not only are we going to pass around the plate to collect some change, but also, those of you who are able, I invite you to come up, as I had mentioned earlier, take a little napkin, take a little treat. They're labeled in case you have some sort of sensitivities. And of course, these are vegan apple muffins. I highly recommend, because I'm sitting in front of them and I'm smelling them right now. And don't worry, because you're like, well, what if I want more than one? We have a little time after service where you all can have all the rest of them, okay? So just take one for now. The darker color, of course, is juice, but the lighter color is water. And as we come up and take these, I would like for you to go back to your seat and don't eat them and drink them yet. And when everybody has been, who is going to be a part of it and wants to partake, when everybody has the things they need, we're going to do this together as community when the music ends. Okay? Any questions? Professor, we're good? All right, if you are not able to come forward and you would like something, raise your hand while the rest of you come forward and take what you need. And I'll come, Kelly can come too, and figure out what you would like for us to bring you. All right? Kathy's already told me, so I'm gonna take hers first.
Oh, all right. Oh, nice. Okay.
I'm not sure how that happened, how I had exactly the right amount. As I told Kathy, these are shot glasses that have been around the block for many different reasons, but they're going to hold a Unitarian communion this morning, all right? Which is all its own problem. But anyway, let's eat this treat, whichever one you chose, embracing the diversity of love and amazingness of a collected community gathered here today.
Yeah.
I'm glad I don't have a microphone.
It is behind you, so you know.
now, let us drink together in that same diversity, understanding that we embrace the spirit of love that flows through us all. And now is a time during our congregational meeting that we have. It's going to be a brief reflection this morning, but we can reflect on what was presented, what's on your mind about unity through diversity, and we'll take about 5 minutes today. It's usually a little longer, but feel free to contribute to that. And I'll walk around and be your mentor to you. And you're more than welcome to put the little napkin in here too, if you want to.
Well, I have something. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to speak.
Yes,
but-
of course.
Okay, great. This is going to be a classic question, that I'm sure all of you have heard many times, and if you have any ideas, please come to me afterwards. How do we do unity and diversity with people like my mom who aren't accepting of the queer community? How can we be tolerant of bigotry? If we can be tolerant of bigotry, to what extent does this unity invalidate our own important identities? If we can't tolerate it, how can we form communities that are welcome to all?
Yeah, I think, I was thinking of the people who are loud with their hate. And that's the problem with the love, is it's quiet. And so it has to, I can't answer your question, but,
Oh, that's
you
okay.
know.
I didn't expect an answer.
But that's to me is, it's, you know, love is quiet. That's, you know, and inherently a problem getting there, right?
I think you have to meet people where they are. And as long as you're honest with yourself, hopefully there'll be chances to teach them. And as long as they're not hurting you, either physically or mentally, I think you can still have a relationship there. And just, you know, protect yourself, but, you know, keep things open. Maybe they'll turn around sooner or later someday.
Right. It's such a dilemma, and just when I was watching the news coverage this weekend about the government shutdown and how at the last minute they came together, and of course everybody's blaming each other, and we won and you lost, and as soon as I hear that, I just keep, and it goes to your question, I think, I keep thinking that if we're constantly trying to divide by winners and losers, or right or wrong, we'll never get unified. We'll never find the light in each other that there is. And nobody wins if there's a loser. I really truly believe that, and we have to move past working on our issues by finding out who wins and who loses. But at the same time, there is hatred in the world, there is greed, there is harm that can be done, and we have to stand up to that without losing our humanity and losing our connection with the people that are causing the harm. And I don't know how to do that, but we have to keep trying to do that, I think. we'll never get any place if we just keep adding to the hate and the division.
I think what has helped me the most with all kinds of issues of hate or other kinds of negativity is my core belief that just about all of that comes out of a person's own insecurity. They don't have enough self-love, so they put others down to try to raise themselves up. Doesn't always make it easier, but it makes, for me, it's like it allows me to give them some compassion, and then I'm not as angry with them. I still will try and change them or avoid them, or, I don't, I'm not going to tolerate intolerable behavior. But emotionally, if I realize they're just weak or insecure, it helps me a lot.
Yeah, I generally take it a little further and a little bit more selfish. I'm glad I'm me and not them.
Yeah, that's true.
And that takes away the anger.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel like if the hate, if it comes from ignorance, a lack of knowing other people, other traditions, other ways to live and be human, then the solution is education for those who are teaching. Thank you very much. But if it's education, a lot of times we can try to tell this is the right way. Then it really comes down to we have to show by living that example as a way of educating.
In the interest of time, maybe we have to vote on this eventually, but I'd love to just have a new tradition of where, as we grow, we can just continue this conversation over treats after service. You can see there's a recurring theme with me, treats. I invite you, if you are able, to please stand and join us in our final hymn, number 318. Before I give you a sending insight, I wanted to take an opportunity to thank my family for showing up today, even though one has to run off to work right now. And also, thank you to all the visitors and guests that have come. We invite you to continue the journey with us. Next week, we're going to dive a little more deeply into this. And then, for the rest of the month of October, we're going to have several guests to visit and do the presentation. Also, after the service, not only are you invited to stay and partake in treats, but also you're invited to listen to the postlude played by our wonderful pianist, Kathleen. Thank you so much. As a musician, we always want to honor the music, and that's what I say, speaking of an orchestra player. So in that vein, I would then say to you, go from this place in a spirit of unity as one people gather today in our diversity, and think about the things that we can do as a community in the future to keep on changing the world. May it be so. Blessed be. That's the last thing in October, so what we can do is just get what we have, and I think what we'll do is I'll do it.
Yeah, so
We'll do the last
so
thing,
my
I'll
parents
look up on the next round.
stuff that I went to, and actually my mom, my grandma, lived in the house next door to me, so my mom,
Oh, yeah, no problem.
different people, I live in this area, but yes. Yes, we'd like to.